Hello Varlets. In this video, we are going to take a look at building probably the most supportive build in Darktide, and I mean that in every sense of the word. This is the Combat Commander. As a Combat Commander, your role is to remain in the backlines, pinpoint priority targets and create tactical advantages through the use of your abilities, utility and allowing your team to perform to their fullest potential. This build brings with it a versatile playstyle, which can pivot between roles with a single weapon switch. It has powerful defensive and offensive buffs, providing a team with a huge power boost in the right circumstances. It can also deal with all enemies on its own, and is not weak or struggles against any particular enemy. Most importantly, this build has next to no resource consumption. It almost doesn't consume any ammo at all, doesn't take any grenades, and barely takes any damage under most circumstances. The last point is what makes this build so good in the team. You get all the benefits without consuming anything. If your team has ammo-hungry weapons like bolters, heavy stubbers, plasma guns, and ripper guns, they are allowed to go all out and play as if there was one less gun-based class on their team. I've brought this build into Auric Maelstroms and it works even better there. The most amount of ammo I've taken is 4 small cases, 2 of which were by accident because I just picked up everything from opening a chest. Anyway, let's move on to see how this build comes together. Here is the talent tree for the build, and the link to the full build is, as always, available in the description below. Starting with the talent selection narrative. As a hardened veteran, close order drills have taught you that staying together means the greatest chance of seeing a mission through. The grueling survivalist training you have undergone has taught you to be resourceful when it comes to finding ammunition in the field. Any veteran worth their salt will see distance as a friend, allowing them to catch their breath and get back into fighting shape in no time. Enemies, however, will see distance as a lethal obstacle to overcome. For every inch you have over them, it is a kill zone they must charge through. In fact, no distance is too far for you, even if it's a long shot. Any opportunity to put a bullet into the head of an unsuspecting heretic will always be worth it. With enough practice, precision strikes will find their mark. With the right weaponry, bullets will rend and tear armor asunder. Every confirmed kill you make affirms your resolve to go for the next one. However, overwhelming odds can often be a problem, especially when the real tough guys are mixed in with the cannon fodder. Moments like these call for a well-placed shredder frag grenade or two to thin out a horde, separating flesh from armor. Keeping a demolition stockpile helps ensure a steady supply of grenades for dealing with such occasions as they arise. While your collective experience has given you an iron will to tough it out during the rough times, you know full well that your true potential is only realized when you are part of a team. Being a good leader is knowing how to draw on the strengths from your allies, and as a born leader yourself, your allies draw strength from your command, inspiring their resilience to push forward. As a leader, you are always leveraging on your experience and tactical awareness to spot special opportunities to strike, giving you enhanced cooldown reduction. Should a particular enemy stand out for any reason, marking them out draws the attention of your allies to focus on the target and fire, causing the enemy to receive increased damage as a result of the concentrated onslaught. Many hands make light work, as they say, and so should anything monstrous appear before you, tagging them signals your allies to redirect their fire at it with increased damage, bringing it down in no time at all. However, there will be moments when everyone has their backs to the wall, when bullets and blades can't break through the crashing tide of darkness. It is in these moments, digging deep and drawing upon your voice of command rallies your allies together. Vocalizing your determination startles the enemy as you summon the strength to push them back. Your voice reminds your allies of their duty and honor, steeling their resolve to stand and fight. After all, they are fighting for tertium through the alleyways and streets. They are fighting for Atoma to break the heretics' siege. They are fighting for all of mankind, each of them its defender. They are fighting for the Emperor and they will never surrender. That was the talent selection narrative for the Combat Commander. Hopefully that painted a pretty vivid picture about what this build is about when you take it on. As it is, this build offers a lot in terms of team support. But there is one talent point which I didn't include in the talent selection narrative. This is because it is a flexible point that you can choose to move around depending on the situation. If the team doesn't have anyone with field improvisation, picking this up gives your consumables added utility and is really helpful in Maelstrom missions where your team's resources, apart from ammo, might be stretched thin. If someone else is already running field improvisation, then you might want to consider picking up Demolition Team for even more grenade spam. Having both Demolition Stockpile and Demolition Team might seem redundant, but the ability to toss out between 20 to 30 over grenades in a single mission can make even the most daunting of situations a lot more manageable. Everything can be solved by tossing enough grenades. In fact, here are some words of wisdom to live by. Alternatively, if you are using a slow reloading weapon, picking up Volley Adept would be a nice quality of life improvement to weapons like the Bolter and Plasma Gun. Allocate this point as you see fit to best match the needs of your game and playstyle. Now, let's talk about the no ammo consumption aspect of this build. This comes down to the choice of weapon I have chosen to pair with the Combat Commander, the Agripinaa 7 Combat Shotgun, aka the Slug Shotgun. This weapon is probably one of the most versatile ranged weapons in the game. Between its special slug shell and regular shots, it can cover close to long distance engagements effectively without a problem. The damage output from the slugs is incredible considering the amount of ammo you are spending, and the impact from the slugs can break open bulwarks and knock crushers around with ease. To maximize the strength of the Agripinaa shotgun, I have chosen to build mine as such. Full bore is an anchor blessing for this weapon 100%. Since the slug shell only fires one pellet, anytime you land a shot with it, you get a free 20% power boost just for landing the shot. The second blessing you'll want is undoubtedly no respite. The high stagger power of the slug means anything that doesn't die from getting hit from the first round is going to take extra damage from no respite and the additional power boost from full bore. However, you might have noticed that my shotgun doesn't have no respite and instead has Scattershot on it. This is mostly because I valued being able to change my perks over Scattershot into no respite. Now you might be thinking, wait, didn't you just say that no respite was an incredibly powerful buff for the damage of the weapon? Why keep Scattershot when trying to use it goes against the point of using a single target slug shot? That's what I thought as well. But when I was doing some testing to see if Scattershot would be worth keeping at all, I discovered an interesting way it functions. First, critical hits for the slug shell have a very high multiplier, about 100% damage increase or double damage. This makes getting crits a good thing for the slug. With enough distance, you can even one-shot body shot a tagged mauler on damnation. Secondly, the way Scattershot behaves is not exactly how you think it does. For some reason, and I'm pretty sure this is a bug, Scattershot considers all enemies in a straight line behind your target to be hit by the shot regardless of how many enemies it actually penetrated. In this example I'm showing you right now, killing a single enemy didn't give me a single stack when it should have. Yet when I kill 2 enemies, I get 2 stacks. When I kill 2 enemies in a line of 3, I get 3 stacks. And this goes on and on until I have a maximum of 5 stacks. This means, so long as whatever you are hitting has at least another enemy behind it, you'll be getting Scattershot stacks very easily, especially against patrols and waves of enemies. Enemy mass does not matter in this either, and even works when firing into a bulwark shield. As long as there are enemies behind your main target in a straight line, doesn't matter what the distance is, you'll build up Scattershot stacks. Knowing this now, or at least until the bug is fixed, you can even consider taking Deadshot with your extra talent point to push your crit chance to 90%. Now, this is not to say that Scattershot is better than no respite. If I had the chance to change, I would still take no respite over Scattershot simply because I value the consistency in being able to make use of the blessing. As for perks, I have chosen Carapace damage to consistently 2-shot crushers at optimal distances, which is around 18 to 24 meters. Carapace damage also makes it more effective to shoot maulers in the head than it is to the body, even with flak damage. For my second blessing, I have chosen flak damage simply because the majority of elites in the game have flak armor, and it also makes landing body shots more forgiving. Apart from mutants, a hit shot with a slug can take out all specials with ease. So if you want to pick up maniac damage, it will mostly be for rages. Unyielding is not necessary because it doesn't really change the breakpoints, especially if you are running no respite. At optimal distances, the slug can devastate Ogrin enemies without much of an issue. The beauty of the Agripinaa slug is that it is capable of bringing so much utility and damage at very little ammo consumption. If you just purely use the slug, reloading a new shell after firing each one, you practically never run out of ammo if you are sniping down elites and specials. If you have to pivot to dealing with shooters, it's also a one-shot kill to the head at most engagement ranges with regular rounds. But even then, I like to use slugs since there's always a chance that it will penetrate through them and get some collateral kills. However, if you want a greater power spike because you want to change things up or your team simply needs more raw damage output, taking the plasma gun essentially fulfills the same role as the Agripinaa slug but has much more destructive power. This of course comes at the expense of being a great deal less ammo efficient. So if there aren't many ammo-hungry weapons on the team, or if you're the only ammo user, switching to a plasma gun will work wonderfully with no changes to the build. As for melee weapons, as always, I tend to just run with my trusty shovel, a generalist weapon with high mobility and a strong special attack to disrupt rages and mutants can never be bad. I've also been running the power sword a lot with this build to give me more horde clearing power and a greater capability to deal with rages swarms, which I value a lot. For Curios, because you have a bunch of talents that offer strong damage reduction buffs to your toughness, as well as having a combat ability that restores 100% of your toughness, I run a 2 toughness 1 health setup to maximize the value from those talents. For perks, I run with, and I'm still figuring out if I like it, 3 additional toughness perks for even more survivability. Again, this is to maximize the incredible damage reduction capability from Iron Will. I'm also running a mix of gunner resistance and sniper resistance to deal with those moments when you are getting peppered by ranged fire. I'm also running 3 combat ability regen perks simply because I want as much uptime as I can with my voice of command. It takes all of 5 seconds for a team to crumble in Auric Maelstrom games when things suddenly go wrong. The 3.6 seconds I can shave off from my voice of command might just be the difference maker here. If you disagree with this, that's fine too. Feel free to take whatever perks are more suited for your playstyle, like more auto dockets. Alright, that was the Combat Commander build. I took some time to think about this build because there were already a lot of Commissar support builds running around, and I wanted to make something that was truly emblematic of being a selfless support that could still pull its weight in any mission. This is what I arrived at, and I'm pretty happy with the performance of this build. Let me know what you think about it and what other support builds you are running with in the comments below. Also, for the full gameplay of the build, thank you all for giving me input in the Redeemer build video. I see many of you suggesting to upload a separate standalone gameplay video so that there's at least an option to see the build in action in a live game. So, on that note, because of how the YouTube algorithm works, I'll follow up the build with a full gameplay video one day after the build goes live. This is so the algorithm has enough time to distribute the build video itself. We'll try this out and see how it works. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Varlets.